in that voice?
Yes.
In that
A large proportion of people will say it's not me. There was something which used to be called the verbals. So that when you arrested someone, you said in court, and I said to the defendant, I am arresting you for stealing this silver cup, and he said...
It wasn't me.
No, he says, fair cut, Governor, I did it.
For real. Does the copper sometimes sing as well? Because I caught you red and even it wasn't me.
And in fact, the police would then say, and he said, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. And I said, caught you on the kitchen floor. Why do you think youths is turning into crime?
Well, I think it's as old as man himself as to why people turn to crime.
I mean, everyone know that it's against the law to be a criminal and it's well bad and everything, but you got to admit it's more fun being a gangster, isn't it?
Well, I think I think it is at certain stage, but when you're languishing in prison, you begin to have second thoughts. But sooner or later it catches up with them. Sooner or later they languish in prison.
And they get bummed.
And they get... and even if they succeed, they live a life on the Costa del Sol. They can't come back to this country.
Yeah, who cares about that?
That sort of thing.
Ain't the real reason why most people turn to crime is that they will get more punani, being a gangster.
Yes. I would say that apart from crimes of passion, of which we touched upon briefly, the predominant reason why people turn to crime is for the very reason to make more money.
And puni.
Yeah.
The pun. So shouldn't you send a very clear message to the youths out there? Yes, in the short term, you can get more puni, more muff. But in the long term, you will get bummed.
Yeah. I think that's a statement well worth making to young people.
What is the best undercover job?
Well, the one that obviously ends with a successful prosecution for a serious offence.
Because we saw this film called Beyond the Call of Duty, and it was about this police officer who had to go undercover and find out whether these ladies was prosies. You know what I'm saying? And he actually had to bone them, and he actually did, because you could see his beast going in from different angles. That must be the best one, what?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be allowed in this country. And it has happened on many occasions when, certainly in the vice field, where officers have said, at that stage, I had to withdraw.
Well, he didn't withdraw. Well, he did once, and then once she blew his cover. How do you work out who did it?
By collecting evidence.
All right, check this then. A man is found dead in a pool of water with a backpack on. How did he die? Oh no, I forgot. There's a goose flying over. That is the clue.
Or you would say, I want a pathologist, first of all, to determine how that man died. Did he die from drowning if he was lying in a pool of water?
Not bad.
Did he die from being struck over the head and fell into the pool of water? Or whatever. I'm not going to speculate as to what the goose...
What's the answer?
The relevance of that, I don't know.
I think it was the goose. I can't remember. Whatever. It wasn't me. Alright, let's talk about the NA. What is NA?
Well, it's DNA, and it is
DNA.
It is your genetic fingerprint, if we're using that sort of terminology.
Is the NA worse than the AIDS?
No, it's not a disease. It's not something to be fearful of. It's just something that everybody has.
I got the NA?
Oh, yes.
How do you know I has caught the NA? Because we always wear a Connie, apart from that one time when she was so fit we couldn't wait, because she was from this Apache Indian video.
It is not something which you contract from someone else or whatever. It is not in any way like AIDS. It is a genetic formula which you have from birth.
What else can you analyze the DNA from?
Any living tissue.
Can you get it from jizz? Jizz.
You'll have to explain that.
You know, a man's, without being rude, man soldiers.
Yes.
How does the copper get to match it? Does he actually have to toss the criminal off?
What would happen? No. When the suspect is arrested, the DNA can be taken from any body tissue.
So he doesn't have to knock one out in court. So, respect. So all the peeps out there, we just want to say, stop thinking of coppers as if there's a bunch of, excuse me French, pricks. I is here with Chief
Hi, can I speak to Caitlin, please?
This is her.
Hi, Caitlin. My name is Mitch, and I was referred to you by Debbie. And is this the babysitter? Are you the babysitter?
Yes.
Okay, and I just moved here with my wife and 2 kids, and we live near a Shepherd Vineyard. And I heard that you were a pretty good babysitter, so I was wondering if you're interested in having another job or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, and currently, just to see what your schedule's like, how many families are you babysitting for at the moment?
I'm babysitting for 3 families at this moment.
Okay, and is your schedule, like, very hectic with that, or do you still have a lot of free time?
No, I'm actually available on short notices.
Short notices, okay. And what about long term, like maybe like a week in advance? Or are you available that way?
Oh, yes, I'm available both ways. Available on short-term notice and long-term.
Okay. So, because pretty much we're looking for jobs, and there's nothing really confirmed yet, but I'm going to be going out on a lot of interviews and just trying to see, driving around, getting to know the area. So, how long have you been babysitting for?
I've been babysitting for 6 years, and I passed my American Cross babysitting course, and I have a certificate to show you if you would like.
Okay. Is that good around here? I'm not sure what that means, like the certificate. But is that easy to get?
It's a course that lasts about, I believe it was 6 days, or at least my course.
Oh, wow. That's a very long time.
Yes, it's 6 days, and you pass it, and you get to learn the basics about babysitting, which is CPR and, just the feeding and the holding and cradling of kids and stuff.
So have you actually dealt with infants before?
Yes, I have, and they're a great joy to deal with.
Okay, because I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, if that's good. I was asking, have you also babysat those type of children before?
Yes, actually, my sister is around those ages, so I'm really good with them.
Oh, wow, she's around 5 to 8? That is very good.
Yeah, so okay. I've been around kids different ages, so that's good.
Okay, yes, that is very good. And are you currently babysitting now? Because I don't mean to bug you with questions. I was just very interested.
Excuse me?
Oh, I asked if you were babysitting right now. Like if you were busy. I didn't mean to be interrupting you if you were. So I was apologizing for asking so many questions.
Oh no, I'm not currently.
Okay, and okay. So if the kids are like acting up that you're babysitting, which is kind of like a rhetorical question. If the kids are like acting up and stuff, how do you deal with it? Because we actually had a situation where the babysitter, before we moved, didn't do anything and just let the kids kind of run wild and break stuff. So I'm just wondering how you would handle a situation if the kids are acting up.
How I would handle a situation if kids were acting up, I would usually, what I did for one of my people that had me babysit, I took 2 chairs and I had the kids sit face to face, and I said, "Listen, honey, what's bothering you about your brother?" And she was like, he was just hitting me and stuff. And I was like, "Jonathan, do you think it would be okay if you could stop hitting your sister?" And she was like, "Yes, I can do that." And so after that, I just monitored the kids a little bit more than I was before to make sure.
Wow, that is like Dr. Phil status. That sounds amazing.
Yes.
And another problem that we had with our last babysitter, we didn't find this out till after, but actually, while she was babysitting, several children have died under her watch. So have children died under your watch?
No, no one has died underneath my watch of babysitting.
Okay, has there been any, like, injuries or, like, Band-Aids that would be needed, or, like, how would you deal with those type of situations?
I always keep a babysitting kit on me while I'm babysitting. I actually have a babysitting bag that's filled with little books, and it has like different TV shows that kids would enjoy, and it has a whole kit of Band-Aids and little SpongeBob Band-Aids and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So if a child gets hurt, you would say, "Do you want a Band-Aid or watch Dora the Explorer?" And that usually does the trick.
Yes, usually it does.
Got you. Okay, and just because like I've been taking a lot of parenting classes and just trying to see, because the kids that they act up quite a bit, and I'm just wondering, because the way I deal with things is I tend to raise my voice when I am like yelling at the kids. What would be an example, like if a kid is acting up, how would you raise your voice without overdoing it?
Oh, I rarely raise my voice at kids because I don't want them to be afraid of me. So what I usually do is I usually talk with a, it's like a sweet kind of voice, but then it also has a tone that is, I'm not messing around and I think you should listen, kind of.
Can you give me an example of that, of how that sounds?
Yes, let's say one of my clients has a son named Jonathan. Let's say he threw a toy at their mother's face. I'd be like, Listen, you don't need to be throwing balls at vases because I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't think your mom would enjoy that at all, do you?
Okay. So I'm just saying, so if you're just, let's just say if you're babysitting with my kids or whatever, would you be able to, if I gave you permission, to be a little more Tony with it?
Yes,
because I've tried that trick, and sometimes with my kids, they kind of laugh, and then I have to get a little more aggressive. So let's just say my younger son threw a ball at your head, and that talk didn't work, and he's laughing at you. How would you act?
I would definitely get a lot more firmer in my voice. I would probably go with you do not need to be throwing balls at my head. I don't think this is appropriate at all, and I don't think that laughing is a good resort because I'm not smiling.
Okay, and now let's just say after saying that he giggles more, like that did not do the trick. What happens then?
I would probably confine him to his room for not a long time, probably about 5 minutes, and I'll check on him every now and then, and I'll see if he is ready to apologize. And when he's ready to apologize, I will sit down with him and I will let him apologize. And when he apologizes, I will let him continue with his day.
Okay, and because I've been in this situation before and I actually did not know how to handle it, let's just say you open up the door to see if he's ready to apologize, and yet he throws another ball at your face.
Then I would tell him that I was going to give him every single time that he disrespects the babysitter. I would add time onto his timeout so he could have time to think about what he did.
Okay, and so now, what I've been talking about with my counselor, she's very, very good, and like tries to give me all these different tips that would actually help with the kids if they're misbehaving and whatever. And one of the things she actually recommended, for the reprimanding, got those words confused, is if the kid is acting up and we give him a firm spank on the buttocks. Are you fine with that? Have you ever done that before?
I did that once, and that was from the parents. They offered. Well, let's just say the parents told me before they took me a step outside, and they said if Jimmy did misbehave, you are available for that option to give him a spanking.
Okay, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard are your spankings?
Mine are about a 2 to a 3. They're not bad at all, just to give the kid a little firm warning that I'm not playing around. And if the kid does continue to disrespect, I would go to around a 4.
Okay, and would you go any higher than an 8?
No, I would not go any higher than an 8.
Okay, that is good because I'm just making sure. Now, and another thing is with one of the tools, she recommended to use something that the kids would indeed be afraid of when I was growing up, it was my mother's backhand. But what she recommended is that we purchased a wooden spoon. So would you be comfortable using that if they were acting up instead of spanking them with your hand?